Tell me if my Pikachu impersonation is fucking on point.
Pika! Pika, Pika! Pika, Pika!
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Games Cage. Today and only today, I am going to bring you guys my review of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Why the fuck did I say Pokemon? Pokemon. I hate when people say Pokemon. So yes, actually as of yesterday, I beat the main game. I defeated the Elite Four. I got my 8 badges. I'm 30 hours in. I've got 110 Pokemon in the Pokedex. So while I haven't completely finished everything, I still have stuff like the rematches and fighting fucking Red and fighting Green. I've basically played the most of the game and I know what it is, and I feel comfortable at the moment giving a proper review. So for those of the fucking 10 of you that don't know, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is a remake of the original Pokemon Yellow. There's also Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, but I mean, why would you pick fucking Eevee over Pikachu? Actually, you know, it's not that much of a stretch, because Eevee's fucking adorable. But yeah, so this game actually surprised me, because when this game was first revealed, I was kind of like, okay, this is great. This is Pokemon Go catching. It's going to be like a simpler version of Pokemon Yellow. It's just going to be a fun, relaxing game. And I think because I had that expectation set from day one that this was going to be a fun, relaxing game, that's why I ended up loving it way more than the initial release well, that's why I ended up being more excited for it than most people were. And now that it's out, a lot of more people are loving it than they thought they would. There was actually a surprising amount there that I didn't expect. So at first the game, you'd think, oh, it's missing, it's not gonna have that many trainer battles. Fucking rest assured, you will have a shit ton of trainer battles. Also, I think it's important to note that I'm in a weird middle spot where I'm in the middle of casual and hardcore Pokemon fan. Where I'm hardcore in terms of I play all the games, I keep up with what the new Pokemon are. I play most of the Pokemon games that ever come out, whether they're spin-offs or not. I've watched the anime and everything. But I'm also casual in the way that the way I play the games is kind of I just go through the main campaign. I've never really tried to complete the Pokedex. I've never really done a lot of the side stuff. Like, I kind of just go and explore the world, play the game, and that's it, and I'm out. So what I loved about this game so much was it was the first Pokemon game ever that I genuinely cared about wanting to complete my Pokedex. And keep in mind, I'm not a Gen 1 guy. Like, I enjoy Gen 1, I think it's great, but I think because of how much fucking Game Freak shoves it down our throat the past few years with Go and remaking the first movie recently and all this shit, it's been a little much. But this game, rest assured, feels great because I don't feel like I have to go in a million bushes with random encounters with Pokemon. Instead, now it's replaced with the catching mechanics from Go, where you simply fucking flick a Pokeball and you just catch the Pokemon. And I think what I loved about that was that it made it so that, okay, I see a Zubat, I caught the Zubat, I never have to fucking fight another Zubat ever again. There was nothing worse in the original games than when you go to Mount Moon and you have to fight 17,000 fucking Zubats and Golbats before you get the hell out of that cave. So all these little quality of life changes, like being able to see the Pokemon in the overworld and choosing which battles you want. Not only that, but having your Pokemon box with you so that all the Pokemon you catch are always with you at any time. You don't have to go to the fucking Pokemon Center for some reason to do it. Stuff like HMs being gone and simply like having things like Cut and Surf and all that be learned by just your Pikachu. So it's just all these little quality of life improvements they made to the game that they really should adapt for the next game. Obviously, I don't think the Go catching mechanics should stay, or the way you level up kind of should stay, but I do think the idea of seeing Pokemon in the overworld should stay, because I really love that. Another thing I want to talk about is the presentation. I actually thought the game looks really great, especially on the TV. In handheld, it looks good, it runs well, it does well, but I feel like on the TV, there's a certain pop to the look of the character models and everything. I really did also appreciate that while it looks modern, it feels old school. Like, even the way you control, even the way that when you run into random trainers, they do the thing where they walk up to you, which is something they removed in Sun and Moon. So it's like, they kept all these little details. Even the way the characters kind of like spin around when they escape somewhere or something. Like, they really did a good job of making this. No, we are purely remaking Yellow. I also really love Team Rocket in this game, especially because they really implement Jesse and James in a very, not hardcore way, but like they are there often, and they carry their same comedy routines from the show that they're known for. And it's just, yeah, these moments with Team Rocket, the moments with your rival, which is really weird, I actually really liked. I'm not normally a fan of like the rival that's like your friend, like they're BFFs with you, but I felt like this rival specifically, I named him Dickface, had a specific kind of weird charm to him where like he would kind of get freaked out about everything, and you'd see like his facial expressions be like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Or when he'd go to the Pokemon Tower, he'd be freaking out. So it's like stuff like that where I feel like the characters were more expressive. You kind of felt they were a bit more alive. Even seeing like Oak, they make fun of him a lot of times and stuff. So I really felt like they did a good job with the character models and the way to kind of make it look like the way you pictured how it looked when you played it as a kid. And yeah, so as for the gameplay, obviously it's Pokemon, it's the turn-based battles you come to expect. There was a big conversation going around this game about whether it's challenging or not. Now I do, personally, again, as someone who casually plays through the game, I had a bit of challenge. Like, I wasn't obviously sweating my head off, but when it would be times where I was doing like 10 trainer battles in a row, there would be a few that would like I've never game overed, but like would knock out a few of my Pokemon, or when I'd fight a gym leader, like it would be to the point where I wasn't like, again, I didn't lose, but I was getting to the point where I was bleeding. And I think also that's what I like about Pokemon, that it isn't a game where you really, I don't know if it is a series where you're supposed to really lose the battles. It's supposed to feel challenging, but you're never really supposed to lose them unless you really weren't grinding or doing much. And yeah, I also felt like the game did enough trainer battles that you could grind, that you could have enough XP to level up. I think by the end of my game, like, most of my Pokemon were in the late 50s, some started at 60s. So yeah, there is a good level gap you have there. Again, even stuff like the XP share, I really love that addition to the series. I just don't think the idea of going one by one with your party and leveling them up is fun. Because think about it, most JRPGs have you in a party with like 4 characters on screen, they all get XP. Whereas Pokemon, the reason it didn't make sense was because you said one by one, you had to just grind and grind and grind. So that's what I love about this game. It didn't feel like a grind fest. It just felt like I kind of, Jesus Christ, like fucking grind fest sounds horrifying. It just kind of flowed and I went through it. Again, experiencing all the childhood things like Lavender Town's theme fucking horrifies me still. Doing Silphco, getting Zapdos, getting Moltres. All these little things that came back to me that made me feel like, wow, this is so nostalgic. And obviously they made Pikachu fucking adorable. Like, there's like a little mini game where you fucking pet the Pikachu. Where's my fucking Pikachu? Pikachu! Get this fucking Pikachu. Yeah, so there's basically like a mini game where like you have the Pikachu and you fucking rub your screen and it goes like Pika! And there's like a bunch of other shit. So anyways, the fucking thing about it is, I don't know why I got drawn to that, and I would be in the bus or metro and I'd be like rubbing it and people would be like, the fuck's he doing to his Switch? So yeah, overall, I actually really love this game. I don't think it's perfect. I do think it suffers from the fact that, yeah, I mean, once like, if you don't really like the OG 151, there isn't much to go back to. There isn't many new additions that really change up the game. If you're looking for the hardcore Pokemon, this isn't it, but I think I just genuinely loved what they did here. If anything, it was surprising how many trainer battles there were, because in a weird, fucked up way, it made me anticipate, I can't wait till I'm in the bushes finding new Pokemon. And it also brought me back to that old school feeling of wanting to catch them all. Because again, I've never done it, but it's the first time that like, I'm talking to people on Twitter being like, hey, do you have this Pokemon? Because I need it for my Pokedex, so do you want to trade? Do you want to give me a Vulpix? Do you want? Because I fucking love Vulpix. So yeah, I just really love that it brought me back to this childhood nostalgia. And at the end of the day, I think this is what this game is. If you love the original games, you will find some love and care for this. If you are the deep hardcore Pokemon game, I think if you set your mind to the right perspective, like this is, hey, next year's Gen 8, this is a fun spin-off title, then I think you're gonna have a great time. If I were to score the game, I'd say like 8.5. Like, it's a lovely time. It doesn't do anything fucking nuts. It's pretty. It's fun to play. Oh, wait. I forgot to mention one fucking gripe. The throwing mechanic on the TV is absolute garbage. It is literal garbage. If the Pokemon on screen is moving anywhere that isn't straight, and you try to shoot that fucking ball, it'll go left, it'll go right. So the fucking throwing mechanics, absolute trash on TV. But in handheld mode, it's relegated to just a button press. I really do fucking wish I could have used my Pro Controller. But yeah, so again, 8.5, great game, I think. Other than some control issues and some not new elements, it's still a game that really fucking tugs your heart and is lovely and just fun to play through as a Pokemon journey on the Switch. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Subscribe for more, all that jazz, and we will see you all next time. Keep on Pika hunting, you Pika hunters. I don't know if you're supposed to Pika hunt. And fucking, let's talk about Eevee. Eevee's a fucking sexy little Pokemon too. Anyways, we've gone too far.